Hi, hello. This is Chaos Cats. My name is Kaylee.
I am Laura.
You are new in the world of chaos.
In the world of cats.
In the world of cats. Yeah,
Not hair, because that's
that is
part
that
of
is
happen.
that is an accessory. I just consider cat hair an accessory at this point in my life. It's always there. It'll never not be there.
It's
Whether
true.
no matter how hard I try to
It
get
just
the
doesn't
hair.
matter.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Whatever. But thanks for joining us today as we do God knows what. Alright?
Yeah, so we're gonna start the episode off here with cat fact. I'm working on pulling one up right now. Can you just
Ooh, are there any
a
spooky
moment?
Are there any spooky cat facts?
Oh.
Spooky cat facts. Spooky.
Ooh, I do know right off the bat, cat scratch fever is a thing, folks.
What does that mean?
Do you not know what cat scratch fever is?
I guess not.
So if you get like bitten or scratched by your cat, it can get really badly infected to the point of like needing to go to the hospital.
Oh.
So like you have to be very careful if your cat, especially if your cat bites you, because the saliva is really just not good. If they bite you, it can get really badly infected, and your hand can like swell, and just like your skin can be painful to the touch. Like it's bad. Like you have to go get an antibiotic, like IV or whatever done.
That's
I was literally
crazy.
just watching someone's like video about them getting bit by their cat in a small little play fight, you know, and she didn't think anything of it, and next thing she knows, she had to go to the hospital to get it taken care of because she had cat scratch fever.
I mean, I wouldn't think of anything of it.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful. Yeah, anytime I get a scratch or a bite from the kids, I usually disinfect it with either hydrogen peroxide, or the best would probably be like iodine, or something like that.
Yeah.
Some form of disinfectant. It's gonna be,
Best.
actually effective in cleaning the wound.
Go get yourself your under the sink disinfectant and just spray that cut up, alright?
And if that doesn't help, you go to the hospital.
No. What are you telling
Emergency
these people?
clinic.
You just need to rub some dirt in it and then
Stop,
wrap
Laura.
it.
Stop it!
You'll be good to go.
Listen here, if your hand starts to swell and your arm starts to swell and it does not go away, you go to a doctor. It can be a witch doctor for all I care, but you go to a doctor of sorts.
Try to
that
get
can
some
fix
sort of
you
help.
up. You gotta go get that looked at by a professional. A professional.
I will say I also was looking up creepy cat facts, and this one's also about infections, which is funny.
I was gonna say, I also looked them up. What'd you find?
It says some people just love cats and always have, but if you develop a sudden, overwhelming love of cats, it could be more than suddenly seeing them through a new light.
I'm looking at the same one.
Toxoplasmosis is a parasite that's often spread through cat feces and can cause humans to care more for cats. In fact, being infected with toxoplasmosis can make you more attractive to other people too. Hey. Unfortunately, it also comes with unpleasant effects like a headache, fatigue, and seizures. Well,
Yep.
Beauty is pain. Just kidding. Just kidding. But that's...
Sometimes true love is painful, you know?
But that's very interesting. I have never heard of that for either of them. So we're learning lots today,
Wow, this
folks.
is so random. Cats can probably hear dolphins. Cats have impeccable hearing. They can pick up the ultrasonic sounds that rodents make to communicate, which means they can probably hear dolphins, whales, and other animals that communicate using ultrasonic sound.
That is so cool. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That would also drive me crazy as a person, I think. If I was being able to hear just everything that much.
Mm-hmm. All right. We gave enough cat facts. That's enough cat facts.
It's true.
Can't give you guys too many cat facts, or we're going to run out of cat facts. Trying to go for the long haul here, folks. Anyways, we're doing this episode different. This is our Halloween special. We'll put in some spooky music in the background. Editor Kaylee will add some spooky sounds and music to the background here and stuff.
Great.
Yours were great, but like in the background music, it'll be like
throughout the whole time.
Your sounds are great. Your sounds aren't going anywhere.
Thank you.
Your sounds are great. But in the background, we'll put some like spooky music in the background for this episode.
I like it.
We'll put some like Halloween music in the background for this one.
Yeah.
But we're doing it a little different. We're doing a little Halloween theme, like I said. We're gonna read you guys some spooky little stories that we found on the internet. Some on Reddit, some probably somewhere else. Mostly on Reddit, more than likely, but we found just some stories. Some might be folktales, some might be urban legends, some might be actual experiences people had. We kind of did like a little mixed bag. We did about 3 to 4-ish each. We're just gonna go back and forth. We're gonna take turns. It should be a fun time.
Yes.
Should be a fun time. A nice spooky time. So if you're listening to this summers where you can, turn off the lights and immerse yourself into the spooky, creepy stories. I hope they're spooky, creepy stories enough. I read most of them, and some of them seem pretty spooky, so hopefully they're spooky.
Yeah, go outside, put us on blast, get yourself a fire, marshmallows. Yeah, is what I was gonna say. Marshmallows. And make some snores, as my nephew was saying the other day. Snores. Snores. Do you want some snores? Man, I love some fucking snores.
I'll take some snores, boy. Give me some snores.
Oh gosh, so fuck yeah.
Fantastic.
Let's get it creepy up in here.
I don't remember if I went first or you went first last time. So do you want to go first and read us a story first, or would you like me to go first?
Oh gosh. I don't know.
It's a simple yes, I want to go first, or no, I don't.
No, I don't.
Okay, there we go. See? Wow. We did it. We got her to make a decision of what she wanted to do. I know how to work with Laura. It's been like 5 years now. I have known this girl for 5 years now.
I think more. It's getting on to 6, I think. Right? No.
2019 is when we met.
So soon to be 6-ish. However, we didn't check in with the peeps. And we have things to check in about.
We don't. Oh yeah, we do that with these. Are we gonna do that because it's a Halloween special? We're still gonna check in. We can do that. Yeah,
because we have things it is a Halloween special because
we did go to Salem. Yeah, we went to Salem. We went to Salem together. Okay, so first little quick side note: this episode is gonna come out before some other episodes, so you're gonna time travel. This is current day. It is currently October 14th. Okay, for some frame of reference, this is probably going to go out like next week. So we finally got together. We talk about it in the main episodes, but you guys just aren't there yet. But as you guys may or may not be aware, Laura and I don't get together very much. We live 2 hours away from each other, roughly.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like 2 hours. So it's a little haul to get over to each other, and we both have shit going on that it doesn't always work out to plan things. So But we finally got together and we went to Salem. And it was so much fun. It was us and our significant others, my husband, her fiance. I finally got to meet Mark. She finally got to meet Nick in person. Yeah, it was fun.
It was awesome. It was so cool. Fun. And
did I traumatize Mark too badly?
No, he fucking loves you too, honestly.
Oh yeah. No, Nick was immediately like, yeah, I fucking love him.
Oh, they're just like, so cute. They both were so cute together. I freaking love it.
They were so cute together. We like the first store we went into was a little comic book nerdy store. Laura and I immediately ditched them in there because it was way too fucking hot.
Way too hot. We looked around a little bit. Really, like, I'm not interested.
I am, but there were just too many people and it was way too fucking hot in there. And I was like, I cannot do this right now. We had just walked for like 15-20 minutes. Like, it was way warmer than we expected it to be. We were really warm, so we kind of just walked away from the boys at first and just went outside, and then they started looking for us like lost little puppy dogs. And we popped in. We were like, we're just gonna stand outside. You guys do your thing, like walk around. And boy did they.
Oh boy did they. They took like
they immediately just went in and just started. They were like, oh okay, and just like just ran off. Okay, so bye. Happy exploring the comic book store, like just immediately hitting it off. I was very happy that they like immediately hit it off. I was like, yeah, look at those little nerds.
Little nerds up in there, you cutie patooties.
Adorable. It was adorable. Yeah, they go on very well. Yeah.
So it's good because it's like we were talking that we're both Slytherin to Hufflepuff pairs. And
yeah, that was so funny for him when he was like, oh, double yeah.
It was so fun. And I even asked Mark, I was like, so if you and Kaylie are similar, does that mean me and Nick are similar? And he was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you are. You two are so similar. You two are so fucking similar. You're both so fucking sassy in like a very specific way, and you both love like really fucked up humor, and I think that's great because it's so unexpected of you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so unexpected of you to like the kind of fucked up humor that you do, and that's why we get along so well, because we both like fucked up humor. And you and Nick are very similar. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was great. It was lovely. We had a blast.
Yeah, it was fun.
And even though only about 2 people know, but we saved Salem. Just so y'all
know. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Like 5 people know. It was like a group of 5 that came by.
Oh, okay. I was literally all they saw was my ass in the bushes, like sticking out of the bushes. So that's all they saw.
We were headed to find the store where you can do the witch broom making. And we were just walking along and we see smoke coming out of like the mulch around this bush, and Nick like walked off ahead of us and went around the corner because he was trying to find the store, and he was just like, that was in his mind, he was like, go like find this store, because we were trying to find this fucking store,
and we were trying to go get some fucking food. You know, he was like, it's this way, and that's the only reason why we walked past that bush.
Yeah. And we walk by, and as he rounds the corner out of our sight, immediately like a gust of wind goes, and you just see embers just light up, and just a huge gust of smoke just take off in this mulch. And I'm like,
I know, I'm just looking at the ground, and I'm like, this looks like lava. What is fucking happening now?
I immediately run around the corner and like yell for Nick, because Nick has some firefighting training and experience, and I was like, and it was like, it was pretty decent by the time we discovered it. Like, because as we started looking around the base of the bush, we were like, oh my God, there's embers everywhere. It's like lit up everywhere. And so Nick comes over and we start like getting it put out. We only had like a quarter, like a little itty bitty bit of water on us because we had all finished our water bottles. So we couldn't make the mulch wet. We just had to stomp out the fire basically. So,
but it went all the way around, like
it took a minute to put it all out too. Yeah. And as we're sitting there, like everyone's like piling into this bush.
I know, we're all like, I'm telling you, butts out of this bush right now.
Yeah.
Three of us.
A group of like 4 or 5 people. It was like a family, I think, walked by. And one of the guys was like, "Oh, are we looking for something?" And I was like, no. The bush was like about to catch on fire. Like, we just walked by and it was smoking and there were embers and just started burning.
Yeah.
Because it was, and the mulch was like super dry.
It was hot too.
And it was really fucking hot.
Like, you could just stand up and you could feel the heat coming when the embers really started going.
And it wasn't that it was a hot day, it was that it was a very windy day.
Oh, yes.
And the wind was like really helping those embers along. And we couldn't find a cigarette, but we're wondering if someone flicked like an ember out.
Yeah.
Because, you know, sometimes you flick your cigarette really hard and your ember comes out. Or you intentionally dig your ember out. They could have intentionally dug their ember out and it went into the mulch. Something like that. Because, yeah, we couldn't find anything that caused it, so... Just fucking crazy. But nobody knows, but we did save
because it was right next to some saved Salem to some buildings
from burning.
And you know, Nick even
it was right next to electrical units.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah. It was right underneath it. I mean, right above it.
There was like literally right under that bush, not far from where it was catching fire, there was like this small electrical box, and then all around this bush, along the sidewalks and stuff, were a bunch of like fans and electrical units and things like that, just like,
and just really old crispy buildings, you know.
Yeah, it was
so
it would have been
bad.
And there were like no emergency services around, because I was looking to see if there was someone I could be like, hey, can you guys come take care of this? But there was literally nobody in the area, because where we were, it was a bit more quiet.
It was
but yeah, so we put it out and we saved Salem.
So you're welcome.
You know. The unsung heroes of Salem. We totally saved Salem from burning. You're welcome. Anyways, yeah, that was our trip to Salem. We hit a couple of stores. We didn't do much.
We got some sage.
Yep, we got some sage.
You guys got some sweatshirts. Yours says not today, Satan.
Mine says not today, Satan, and I bullied Mark into buying a sweater because there was a sweater he wanted, and they only had like the big size. It was like an extra large.
It was like 2X, which is only one size up from what he normally goes for, I think.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Then he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, "This is really big. I don't know if I want to do this one." And I was like, "We'll look around and see if there's a one." We both suggested look around, see if there's smaller sizes, and he looked and it was literally the only one on the fucking rack. And then I looked and I was like, just buy it, buy it, just get it,
just
only
$25
just buy it,
do it.
And that's what I said, because mine was also like $27. I was like, dude, just do it, buy it. Just kept telling me, buy it.
Okay, doing it. You know, now looking back, I do wish I got that naked witches outline dancing thing.
You could be wearing it today on your day off. Have the naked witches dancing. You know what? We'll get it when we go in the off season, because we're gonna try to go again. We're gonna plan another trip there, so we can go in the off season, so we can actually tour the museums and stuff. It was just too busy. There were just too many people. And by the time we got around,
it was like food. Like, we couldn't find any food.
Yeah, we were trying
just
to find.
Because it was so packed.
We found, what did we find again?
Pierogies? Yeah. Cheese and potato.
We found pierogies, which were so fucking good.
Delish.
They were fantastic. But we were trying to find food while we were there, but we just couldn't find anything, especially that wasn't like an hour wait. Or more. So we basically decided, well, let's go find the broom making store, which ended up being a bit pricier than we were looking to spend that day. So we decided we were going to go a different route with that, and that we would just leave and go get food, because we were all hungry and like tired, because we had all been walking for a while.
All day,
So we left and we went and got food. We found our way back to the car. We're like, I pull up the GPS and I'm like, all right, let's pull up the parking spot so we can get back there. And I look at it, I'm like, ooh, guys, this is a 30-minute walk back to the car. We have and ventured away from the car. So we made our way back to the car. It was a really nice walk, though, especially once we got out of the busy area.
Yeah.
It was a really nice walk, walking through Salem. It was just really nice. We took some pictures. We didn't take a group picture. We kind of forgot to take a group picture.
I know.
We got pictures of all of us, but we didn't get a group picture. So that's on us. Next time. But yeah, it was a really, really nice walk back to the car.
Yeah, it was. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
The cobblestone brick kind of sidewalk is beautiful, but girl's about to break an ankle.
Oh my god,
and I didn't even have heels on.
Crazy.
Like,
yeah, no, seriously, didn't even have heels on, and those things were treacherous. Imagine if we had actually both committed to heels. I almost did.
No, I would.
I almost wore my big platform. I almost wore my big platform boots. I was like, nah,
I'm not walking in that shit.
I'm not doing that. I was like, maybe in the off season when we can park closer.
True. Yeah.
And then when we went and found food, we went and found this cute little hole in the wall that we didn't expect to be a hole in the wall. Okay.
Okay. Because if you look at the menu, it looks.
We Googled this place first, and the pictures of the food looked fantastic, like a really nice restaurant. And we pull up, and it's this rinky-dink little place. And we walk in, and it's like this small little dive bar, basically, on the inside.
I was like,
there's
it looks
not much,
kind of rough on the outside, even dive bar.
There's not much seating. No, we were like, Mark was shocked that we decided to stop and go in.
Yeah,
but like, Nick and I are adventurous people, like we're not scared of it. The food looked good online, so we were like, let's go. So we did. We parked. We went in, and when we first walked in, we were like.
Not what
we didn't know what to do because it was kind of a seat yourself, but like go acknowledge the bartender first.
Yeah.
And it didn't really say that. So we kind of stood there looking like idiots for a second, and then we went up to Mark, kind of like trudged forward and went to the bartender, and she was just like, yeah, because there was like no seating inside. She was like, the patio's open, but it's really full in here. And we were like, we'll take the patio.
Let's get outside.
That's perfectly fine. I don't want to be in here. Inside just felt like a really rinky-dink, not so great dive bar.
Yeah. Like Mike said, there's just it's like mostly full
a lot of
like
locals.
Regulars. Yeah.
But honestly,
they were hitting on Kaylee from afar.
Apparently someone was talking. Mark caught on to this. I did not. But yeah, so we sat down and we got our fucking food, and we were like, God damn,
delicious.
I did not expect this kind of food from this place.
No, so at least the food on the menu is not like a scam. It's just the rest of it was
it was unexpected.
Yeah,
it was just unexpected to pull up to that rinky-dink little. I'm sorry, crappy looking building.
Yeah, because it was like faded green, little broken pieces.
It was like a faded blue, I think.
Okay.
Pale, like it was like a faded blue, maybe a blue-green. I don't know.
Should we?
It was.
Tell people.
It was
like where was this? Do we even remember?
I wasn't gonna say it just
because
it's the tin something.
The tin something. That's what I was thinking too. So figure that out.
I think that's enough for people to figure it out. But. Yes, we're saying it looks like shit, but I promise you, it's actually really good.
Yeah, and our bartender waitress,
she was awesome.
She was incredible.
Oh, she was awesome. She was great. She was wonderful. We tipped her big. I think she was really happy about that. She really didn't expect it. She was like, "This is a wad of cash." We were just like, "Yeah, bitch, you deserved it.
You killed it."
Yeah, bitch.
It's just like the two bartenders and taking up the whole restaurant. Like,
it was full, and honestly, she was very quick. Everything came out quick. She was attentive. She was like, "Don't worry if we don't come out. Just come up to the bar and let us know if you need something." And she kept coming out pretty consistently enough that like if we had needed something, we would have been fine. We wouldn't have been waiting long. But yeah, no, it was really fucking good. The mac and cheese was great as leftovers. It was fucking fantastic.
Mine was too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Nick gave me his leftovers because he got buffalo mac and cheese. He let me have it and it was fucking good.
Good for you.
Oh, yeah. I benefited from that. I was surprised he got the buffalo mac and cheese because he doesn't usually really like to do buffalo stuff. So I was kind of shocked that he did get the buffalo. But I benefited from it because I got the leftovers of the buffalo mac and cheese. So
it's delish. All right.
It was so fucking good. It was very shocking that we were like, this little place is producing this food.
I know.
Okay.
Like the fries and Mark's burger looked gourmet and like
it was really good.
So
it was really fucking good.
Well-rounded trip, I'd say.
It was a great trip. It was a really fun trip. We ended the day by stopping into Walmart to grab the new phone Who Dis game.
Well, to buy one of them. They only had one. The only one we wanted. They only had one of.
Yeah, they only had one, so I was like, Laura, you take this one. I'll just go and buy it before we record.
Yeah, next day I get a text 8:30 a.m. I bought it!
I decided
to get at 8:30 a.m., ma'am?
Well, I woke up. Nick was already gone for work, and I woke up. I was pretty energetic when I woke up, and I was sitting there still fairly tired, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't want to go in the afternoon when everyone is there.
Yeah.
I know there's nobody at the store right now, and I know they just opened like an hour ago. How do I know this? Because I'm a sales rep, and I'm in those stores when they open. So I know when they all fucking open. And I was like, and I know what they're like in the morning. Nobody's fucking there first thing in the morning. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with all the people that are going to be there later.
Yeah.
And all the traffic that's going to be around for me to get there. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to fucking hop in the car and I'm just going to go do it now and go take care of it. And that is exactly what I did. I hopped in the car. I took off.
Mission,
I ran to Target in my Slytherin sweatpants and my Not Today Satan sweatshirt, because that is the sweatshirt that I got from Salem and I love it. Threw that on and just ran out the door and found the game, and then also found a Lego set to built that later that morning. And yeah.
And here we are.
Now here we are.
Played the game. All right.
We already played the game. You gotta go listen to that episode.
What the fuck's he doing?
This episode might come out before that episode, but
still, what the fuck's
when it comes out, go listen to it. What the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing?
Why haven't you listened to it already? Come on.
What the fuck? But that was a great little Halloween trip, and I will put some photos maybe on our Insta and on our Facebook. If you want to send me your fave of you and Nick, I can put that on there if you'd like. I figured we'd share a little bit of a schmammelin'.
Wow, surprise! Laura and Kaylee got together!
I know we took a selfie because we were all like, we don't know.
Picture didn't happen.
I know, we don't know if we're going to be able to remember to take pictures. And guess what? We didn't remember to take pictures. Nick did. So
Nick did remember to take pictures.
Oh, yeah.
He faithfully remembered that we needed to get pictures. As we were walking back to the car, we were at this really nice spot. And he was like, wait, do you guys want to just like stop and take some pictures really quick? And we were like, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. And that started a picture-taking trend in that corner of that street because all these families that stopped and started.
Then all these other people that started like walking up around the same areas stopped and started taking
you're in our fucking pictures
too.
Now, man. All right.
Yeah.
Get gone.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Love it.
It was fine. Yeah. It was good.
It was good. It was lovely.
It was. We have to do it again. 2 hours really isn't that bad of a drive. We're just a bunch of big babies.
I know. It's true. It's mostly me, actually.
She's not wrong. It's mostly her.
It's mostly
I'm free very often. She is not. Girl's got way too busy of a life, and I'm over here like, yeah, just let me know when you're free.
I'll be here.
Going on. Yeah, I'll be here. Let me know when you got nothing going on. Never hear from her.
Never hear from her. Sorry. So sorry.
So sorry. So sorry. So sorry.
All right. Now, I believe...
ready to get into it now that we have told our tale
Yes.
of our adventures in Salem?
Yes, we got nothing spooky for you in terms of that story, but maybe next time
No,
we're there, you know?
no.
We plan next time.
Maybe next time. Yep.
You know, it was really
time.
nice because this is the first time Mark and I have been to Salem, and I kind of told him I really liked that we just went kind of during the busy season because we got to see all the stuff that's available. We got to go into all the shops so that if we don't get to go into the shops next time, we won't be bummed, you know? And so it's like, it gets a sneak peek into like what we want to do in a more involved Salem trip.
Yeah. Which will be a lot of the tours and museums and shit like that.
All the ghost tours. I literally want 90 ghost tours. Yes. I don't care if I sleep.
We're not, We'll figure something out. We'll plan it out. We'll get you those. We'll get you those ghost hunts. We'll get you those ghost tours and shit.
Okay.
We'll get you plenty of ghost hunt and ghost
plenty
tours
of ghost
stuff. Plenty of ghosts will be there.
Plenty of ghosts.
Plenty of ghosts. That's all. That's
and
it.
I
Plenty
want
of ghosts.
them to let me know that they're there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Just throw me across the room. I don't care.
Just throw me across the room. I don't care.
I've been thrown across the room by a human. What's it matter if it's a ghost? All right, just do it.
What's it matter?
What's it matter?
Just do it.
I've done it. I've done it. Let's go. I want that story. Come on.
Anyways.
Any hoozles?
Let us tell some tales that we have found on the internet.
Tales. Oh,
yes. So this first story that I'm going to read you, bring us a little closer over here, is from Reddit, r/ghost stories.
They're all from Reddit.
Posted by chance_cap_5340. It's called The Call.
Ooh.
I hadn't thought about Sarah in years. Life has a funny way of pushing old memories to the back of your mind until something brings them crashing forward. For me, it was the sound of my phone ringing on a quiet October evening. I was lounging on the couch, half watching some random horror movie on TV, when her name lit up on my phone screen. Sarah. I hadn't seen her since high school. Without thinking, I answered. Hey, Rach! Her voice was cheerful, familiar, as if no time had passed. For a moment, I couldn't find my words. Sarah, is that really you? I asked, my voice cracking with disbelief. God, it's been forever. We fell into an easy rhythm, reminiscing about old times. We talked about Halloween pranks we used to pull on our neighbors, the toilet papering, the candy swaps, the silly costumes. It felt like no time had passed at all. Like we were still those kids running through the streets without a care. But as the conversation continued on, something started to feel off. She began mentioning things I had forgotten. Small details about my life, things even my closest friends wouldn't remember. How I used to sneak out of my bedroom window at night to meet boys. How I would write love letters and hide them in the cracks of the brick wall near the school, hoping someone would find them. I hadn't thought about those things in years, let alone talked about them. How do you remember all of this? I asked, laughing nervously. Oh, Rach, I remember everything, she said, her voice soft but carrying an edge that made my skin crawl. The conversation shifted, becoming darker, more intimate. She started talking about my adult life. Things she couldn't know. My failed engagement, the nights I'd cried myself to sleep, my insecurities, the ones I didn't share with anyone. It was like she had been there watching me all these years. I never told you about that, I said, my throat tightening. Her response was immediate, almost too eager. Of course you didn't, but I know you. Rach, I know you better than anyone. A chill ran down my spine. I looked around my darkened living room, suddenly feeling exposed, vulnerable. My heart pounded as the conversation spiraled deeper into territory I couldn't comprehend. Every word she spoke felt like a needle pressing into wounds I thought had healed long ago. You're not happy, are you, Rachel? She whispered. Not really. I froze, my hands trembling. What are you talking about? You've been pretending for so long. You've always been pretending, even back then. I couldn't take it anymore. I pulled the phone away from my ear and stared at her name on the screen, my breath coming in shallow gasps. This wasn't right. None of this was right. I hung up. For a few minutes, I sat in silence, trying to process what had just happened. I felt like I was suffocating, like the air in my apartment had thickened, closing in around me. I needed to hear her voice again to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. I quickly dialed her number. The phone rang once, twice, then a voice answered. But it wasn't Sarah. Hello? A man's voice, deep and unfamiliar. I hesitated. Is Sarah there? There was a long pause on the other end. Then quietly the man said, I'm sorry, but Sarah passed away 5 years ago. The world seemed to tilt beneath me. What? No, that's not possible. I just talked to her. Who is this? He asked, his tone growing suspicious. Rachel, I was just talking to Sarah on the phone. Another silence, this one longer, colder. I don't know who you were talking to, the man said slowly. But it wasn't Sarah. She died in a car accident. I'm her brother. I could barely hear him over the blood rushing in my ears. I wanted to scream, to throw the phone across the room, but instead I just hung up, fingers trembling as they pressed the end call button. Sarah was dead? How could that be? I just heard her voice. I'd been talking to her for hours. I had laughed with her, shared memories. This couldn't be happening. I sat there staring at my phone, waiting for it to ring again, half hoping, half terrified that it would be her. The silence of my apartment was suffocating. The shadows in the room felt deeper, darker than they were, pressing in around me. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. For days, I kept going over the conversation in my head, dissecting every word, every detail. I even dug up old yearbooks, photos of Sarah from high school, trying to make sense of it. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't shake the feeling that she had been there, on the other end of the line. Sarah, my Sarah. But she was dead. Then a week later, as I was getting ready for bed, my phone rang again. It was her. Her name, bright as day, lit up on the screen. Sarah. I stared at it, my hand frozen, trembling. My breath hitched in my throat as my phone continued to ring. The sound growing louder, more insistent. I didn't answer. I couldn't. But even as I let the call go to voicemail, I knew, deep down, that whatever I had spoken to that night, it wasn't Sarah. It was something else, something that knew me, knew my life, my secrets, and it wasn't finished with me yet. The phone buzzed again, a voicemail. I pressed play, the room growing colder with each passing second. Hey, Rach. Her voice whispered through the speaker. Why don't you pick up? Don't you miss me? And then the silence that followed. I could hear her breathing low and steady, still there waiting, and I knew she always would be. And that is the story.
Fuck no.
No?
Beautifully written, but fuck no.
Oh yeah, very beautifully written, but yeesh. No thank you.
No thank you. Full conversations? Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, for real. Full blown fucking for hours.
Yeah. And it's like, if it was like a whole like your friend thing, that's genuinely cool, but since it was like getting into like some weird territory and some boundaries and just like it turns into
I don't like you knowing all this information about me and then finding out you're dead.
Yeah, and then also, how do you know all this internal stuff?
For real.
That's creepy.
I don't like it.
I think the paranormal is cool, and I like that it's unexplainable, but that's like an unexplainable that I'm not here for. Right. Like, how are you understanding what's going inside my brain at the moment? Like,
how are you reading my mind?
Yeah.
I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, like, whoa, no. Please. No. And then don't tell me about how terrible I'm feeling. God damn, I know.
For real.
God damn.
Stop it.
I'm rubbing it in. Oh gosh, well thank you.
All right, Laura, it's your turn to regale us a tale.
Okay.
A nice, dark, spooky tale.
I chose this one because it's from a youngin', and it's from 3 days ago. And their name is standard_rich_9560 under Spooky Stories. Hello. His name's not Rich because he says, hello, my name is Oliver. I'm sorry if this writing is poor because I'm not a great writer. It says, the title of this is I'm 15, and I want to know if this is a skinwalker. So here we are. Anyways, I have something really spooky to get off my chest. I'm 15, by the way, so if there's a grown man coming at me, I probably wouldn't be able to stand my ground. Anyways, this all started about 2 years ago. I live in the middle of nowhere. I live about 10 minutes away from the nearest road. It has its pros and cons, but that doesn't matter right now. Me and my family always used to go into the woods to explore and go for walks with our 2 German Shepherds. Not anymore, though. Something changed. And it started with one... started with this one time where me and my family went deep into our woods and found human clothes. It creeped me out, but my dad wasn't scared. He is a 6'2" burly man who carries a loaded revolver with him. We find the clothes and look at it for a few seconds and carry on our walk like nothing happened. After a little while, we started to walk back, and my younger sister wanted to see the clothes again for some reason, so we headed back, the same route we came from. When we got to the spot where the clothes were, we were shocked at what we were seeing. The clothes were not there anymore. Now, I know that doesn't seem like a big deal, but it freaked us out a little because the clothes had been there only 15 minutes before we turned back. It says 4 months later. I had honestly completely forgotten about the clothes, and I think everybody else had, but this experience is something I will never be able to forget. My family had pretty much stopped going into the woods, not because they were scared, but because we thought we discovered everything, but we weren't even close. I was bored at my house, so I told my dad I was going up into the woods, and he wished me fun and told me to be careful. I said bye, and I started my way into the woods. I want to say I was about a mile deep into the woods. I know that sounds deep, but we went into the woods so much I had the whole area memorized. And honestly, I grew up in the same way. Like, we definitely just went into the woods. And
A mile's not that deep, I feel like. It was really not that deep.
it's really not that deep. Especially if there's any, if it's like,
Especially if there's like a marked trail
path.
Like,
yeah.
No, it's not that deep. Now, if you're just hoofing it.
Yeah,
through the
through
woods,
like some
an unmarked
woods.
territory, unless you know your surroundings, please don't do that.
Yes, but I mean,
Just stick to a trail.
It seems like he's good to go. But when I came to a clearance that I've never seen before and decided I should take a quick water break. The second I sat down, I had an extreme feeling that there was something behind me and I froze. I stood up and pulled out my pocket knife and turned around with my knife ready to use. When I turned around, there was nothing there except for the worst smell ever. It smelled like a homeless man covered in every gross thing ever.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I still had that feeling and started to walk back, but as I was walking, the feeling of being watched progressively got stronger. I started to run because whatever was behind me, I was not trying to find out what it would do with me. I got home and told my dad about my story, and he said it might have been a deer with rabies or something like that. Whatever it was freaked the hell out of me. Then it says 3 months later. I haven't forgotten about this instance in the woods. And also, by the way, I do think that there's definitely like such a thing as like your body knows. Like your instincts.
Oh yeah, you should always listen to your
gut. So if your body is telling you to get the fuck out of there and run,
any situation, no matter what the situation is, if you have this like instinctual feeling, just this inner feeling of like, I should just leave, do it. Leave. Listen to that feeling.
Absolutely.
Listen to that feeling. If it's telling you you are unsafe or whatever, fucking listen to it.
I agree. And you know what? One thing that I shared with Mark's younger sister that I think has actually helped me is what you've shared with me. And I think it's from one of your podcasts, and it's
probably
Stay Rude, Stay Alive. Is that what it is?
Yeah, stay weird, stay rude, stay alive.
Yeah, and I really like that because, I mean, I don't like people having thoughts about me, and when they think I'm like rude or weird, I don't like that. But also, that could be the difference between like like they say, me being dead or alive, you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
and she seemed to really also like that, so it was cool.
Good, I'm glad.
Yes, so, but he says, I haven't forgotten about the instance in the woods with the mysterious figure, but I had gotten over it enough for it not to be on my mind 24/7. As always, we carried about our lives. Are you giggling over there?
Yeah, I said good for you.
Ah. Good. As always, we carried about our lives. Now here is when things started to get really weird. My dad was stacking firewood because during the winters, we use an old-fashioned furnace. When he was stacking the firewood, he randomly looked at the woods and just stared. I was watching him from the trampoline about 50 feet away. I yelled out to him to see if he was okay, but I also asked him if there was something out in the woods. He didn't respond. He just stared.
Something out in the woods.
It freaked me out enough. Yeah. It freaked me out enough to open the trampoline zipper and start to get out of the trampoline. But that's when my dad looked at me and started to walk fast-paced towards me. I asked him what he saw and he simply said, "Nothing, don't worry about it." I still to this day don't know what he saw, but whatever it was spooked him. Now I wish that was the last experience I had with the being, but unfortunately it wasn't. This is about 1 week after the incident with my dad getting spooked at something in the woods. Me and my dad both mutually agreed to not tell my mom and sisters because we didn't want to spook them. But for real. But I couldn't get it off my mind. It just didn't feel right to me. I shrug off the thought as best I can, but what was coming for me, I will never be able to shrug off. He's cute because then it just says a while later. A little while later.
I love his storytelling.
He's so cute. I do too. A little while later. I was in my bed with the lights off watching TikTok on my phone when I heard what sounded to me like a human footstep right beside my bed. I froze. I wouldn't have been able to move even if I wanted to. Then once again, another footstep. I started to panic and I was horrified because I was still on edge from the other strange occurrences, and that's when I decided the best way to get this thing away from me was to yell and yell loudly. I screamed so loud it woke my parents up. They came rushing to my room and burst in and asked me what was going on. I told them that there is something in my room and they said to me without any concern whatsoever, "You're fine. Go to sleep." I hate that.
Listen to your kids. If your kid's scared, really don't just sit there and be like, "You're fine, go to sleep." Like, sit there and talk to your kid for a minute and be like, "Well, what did you see?" It could help them to talk about it instead of just disregarding. That is how you create fucking issues in your child. So when they grow older, they have problems. Yeah. Okay? Listen to your kid. Don't just disregard when your kid sits there and goes, "There was something in my room." How about you sit there and you listen for a second? Yeah. Hear what they have to say. Yeah. Because what if there actually is someone in their room that broke in?
For real.
Like,
for real.
What if? You know, there are stories of this that have happened out there in the world. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't disregard your kids. Not saying you gotta believe what they're saying, but listen what they gotta say first. And if they say something went into their closet, check their closet. You know. Helps them feel better.
It's just one of those things where their feelings are there. Regardless on what's causing those feelings being valid or not to you, those feelings are there.
Show them there's nothing there. Yeah. Let them talk it out. Go back to bed. You can give them a glass of water. You can give them a couple minutes of your goddamn fucking time.
They're your children. Oh, but he said, I was terrified and annoyed that they didn't care, but I had to deal with it because arguing with my dad was like arguing with a deaf person. This kid, I love it. I think his name was Oliver. He's killing it. But something didn't look right with them. As he started to turn around and head for the door, I saw a vertical cut on my dad's neck, and it looked like it went down his lower back. I almost asked my dad what happened because there's no way a cut like that could go unnoticed. But I didn't because my gut told me to act normal. So I did. I went to sleep and acted like nothing happened. Until I heard a whining sound coming from outside my bedroom door. It sounded like my dog. My dog was scratching at my door. It really freaked me out, so I stood up, grabbed my knife, and went to open my door. When I was just about to open it, the whining and scratching stopped. I opened the door and I looked down and saw nothing. My dog had walked away. I was relieved but also frightened. I looked at my watch and the time says 2:43 a.m. I started walking down the hallway to get some water. I opened the kitchen door and see my dog standing on two legs, making horrible sounds. It sounded in pain, like there was something inside him. I go up to him and see there is a vertical cut from his neck down his lower back, just like my dad's. I freaked out and run out of the house and started running towards the street, but I live far, almost a 10-minute drive. When I get outside, there is the feeling of me getting watched again. I run down my long, curvy driveway, hoping to get to a road and try signaling for a car to pull over for help.
Where are your parents?
Again, yeah, but I think he's afraid of his parents because his dad had the same cuts as the weird dog. And if this kid's an only child and comfortable in the woods,
if you're an only child,
what else?
I don't know. He's not gonna be comfortable in the fucking woods either. Like after this,
no, maybe not comfortable in the woods, but your woods,
right? Because after this, I am not stepping foot out there. No, thank
you. No. You should probably move. I sprinted all the way to the street. Normally, it would take me 20 to 30 minutes to walk down my driveway. Down his driveway?
I'm sorry, did you just say... You want to reread that sentence again? 20 minutes to walk down his driveway?
Yeah, he said, I freaked out and run out of the house and start running towards the street, but I live far, almost a 10-minute drive.
Yeah, so they probably have an isolated road driveway thing.
Yeah, they probably are like a homestead type sitch. Where was I? I run down my long curvy driveway hoping to get to a road and try signaling for a car to pull over for help. I sprinted all the way to the street. Normally it would take me 20 to 30 minutes to walk down my driveway. This time I got to the road in less than 15 minutes. I was so scared I forgot to be tired. I felt that for real. I got to the road and saw a car driving down the road, which is oddly good timing considering it was 2:54 a.m. I waved the car down and luckily they pulled over. I say I need to get to the police department immediately. The stranger barely talked and drove me to the local station and came inside with me. I tell the police everything I know and take a seat in the waiting area. I feel guilty for not taking my sisters. Oh,
so he does have siblings.
Oh my gosh.
Fucker just left him behind with some possible skinwalkers and shit fucking hunting around. And this boy just runs off.
It's just like, what? Who fucking cares? I'm out of here. I can't fuck with that. But he says, I feel guilty for not taking my sisters, but I think they also would have the same cut. So he was just worried they were just more skinwalkers. But also, those your sisters. Like, pick your fave and just try it out, right? At the minimum. And then it says currently. I'm sitting in the police station right now writing this. If this has ever happened to you or have any tips, let me know. Remember, I'm only 15 and I can't even drive to where I need to go. I'm scared and the police tell me they have multiple cases of this happening. I've looked online and multiple sources say that this is similar to a skinwalker. Let me know what you think. Stay safe. He's so cute, but also clearly terrified. And this was 3 days ago. Poor guy.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy shit, man.
Oh,
it's crazy stuff.
That is crazy
Poor
stuff.
kid. God damn.
You don't want to deal with a skinwalker.
No fucking thank you.
Oh, no.
No fucking thank you.
Especially if they're pretending to be your parents right now.
For real.
Fuck's sake, dude.
No, thank you.
Okay.
This one is a very famous creepypasta. I decided to go pull a very famous, very old creepypasta. Like this was out when I was in like high school, like beginnings of high school, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure this one's from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It is called Licking.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I'm gonna put a trigger warning here. In relation to animals.
Oh.
So just gonna put that trigger warning here. So if you don't want to listen to that, it's about a 2-minute read, so just skip ahead a couple minutes. And you should be good. But
sorry, sir. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, everybody.
You have been warned. While this one over here crinkles her marijuana bag and pulls out her cannabis.
Cannabis. Adorable. Oh, cannabis! I'm gonna have to use, and then Putafa is like so soothing to my brain. So
that's right. You've been listening to
Morbid. That's your brain. Yeah, I have been. So thank you for that too. Yeah, I nothing wrong with. Is it the wine and crime? Folks?
Yeah,
but Morbid is definitely.
Morbid is great. I love starting my day with Morbid. They're the ones I'll start. If I'm gonna the first podcast I start with, usually if they put out an episode, is them. So
is that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and I have lots to catch up on, so
Oh,
I've
God,
got plenty.
Yeah.
So
It's great. It's great.
So continue on your 2-minute story of triggers. Thank you.
Yes, it's a little sad at the end of the story, but it's a classic. All right. This is the story. Licking.
This is the story of a girl.
Yeah, I mean, there's a girl in this. Yeah, it's an old lady, but
it's a girl.
It's an old lady,
We're
but
all girls.
My great-grandmother lived alone up in the mountains at her cabin. Her husband was dead, so she was there all alone. She had only one companion, and that was her loving dog. They both adored each other, and the dog was a great comfort to her. Every night when she went to bed, the dog would lick her hand and let her know that he was there to protect her. One night, she had gone to bed, and the dog had licked her hand, like he had done routinely every night since her husband died. But this night was different. She had woken up in the middle of the night because she heard her dog whimpering. She wanted to comfort him and let him know that she was there for him. So she stuck her hand out by the bed and she felt the dog gently lick her hand like always. She figured he was just cold, so she went back to sleep. The dog's whimpering had woken her up a second time in the night, so she stuck her hand out. The dog licked it and she went back to sleep. This happened a third time, and she stuck her hand out and the dog stopped whimpering and came and licked her hand. She stayed awake for a few moments afterwards and she went back to sleep again.
No.
In the morning...
Third 3 times?
In the morning, she woke up and stuck her hand out by the bed, but nothing licked her hand. She thought that the dog had already awakened and was just in the front room. She rolled over and got out of bed and heard a drip, 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 drip. She thought the sounds were coming from the kitchen, so she walked over and turned the handles on the sink faucet. But it wasn't the source of the noise. After frustratingly checking the sink and its pipes, she gave up and continued into her bathroom to take a shower. As she got closer to the bathroom door, it was evident that the sound was coming from within. She opened the door, looked above the bathtub, and gasped in utter horror. There, hanging from the light by his collar, was her loving companion. His blood was dripping into the bathtub. She screamed and began to cry, wiping her eyes and sobbing. She turned and looked into the mirror. In the mirror, she saw the dog's reflection, and written on the mirror, in her dog's blood, with drips streaking down from each letter, were the words, "Humans can lick too."
That's disgusting.
And that is the story of licking.
Of licking.
This creepypasta will once in a blue moon pop up into my mind because this was one that really traumatized me. At the time when I first read it. Yeah, it came out in 2010. So So yeah, I was in high school when this came out, and I remember it, and I remember being utterly traumatized by it. But yeah, humans can lick too.
I'm not a fan.
No.
It's disgusting. And also, you're a dumbass if your dog is whining and whining and
Why would you not, like,
turn the light
actually
on,
check
bro.
on them?
You tired ass, get the fuck up.
Come on now.
God damn.
Yeah, no,
3
I know.
times and you still
I know.
didn't do
When
nothing?
I first read
That's
the
your own
story, I
fault.
was like, why are you not checking? Fucking
Lady.
check. Fucking check. Just go check.
Turn the light on.
But yeah, that's
Well, she regrets it, that's for
that's
sure.
something.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I will say that they also have a shorter one. Mine's probably less than 2 minutes. And it doesn't really have, like, I don't know, it's just like short and sweet type of a deal, and I thought it was cool but creepy. How do I get over here? Alright.
Get over here.
Over here. Okay, this one also read it 10 years ago. This was posted by someone that I'm gonna fuck up. It says Mastrius. Maybe. Yeah, sounds not playground safe. But it says, a few years ago, my brother would get a call on his cell phone around 2 or 3 a.m. every night. He would answer, and it was this hellish sounding noise, like static mixed with screams. He changed his number after a month of this, and it stopped. Then after a week or so, it began again, the exact same noise, the exact same time. Finally, one day, he decided to back dial the call. It was an old man that had no clue what he was talking about. Still, the calls persisted. If he didn't answer, it would call a few more times, but no messages were left. He decided to say screw it. He ended his contract with his phone company, switched to a new one, and then got another new number. But you guessed it, the screaming static calls continued after a short delay. By this time, he was terrified every night. Unsure why this was happening, he back-dialed the number again and got a whole different person. Around this time, he lost his job and therefore lost his phone. The call stopped, of course, because his phone was disconnected now. So one day, my mom asks me to listen to this weird message she got on our home phone. It was the static screaming. We showed my brother and he was freaking out. He back-dialed the number again, and it said the number was disconnected this time. And we never heard from it again after that. So
Maybe it was someone fucking with him.
I know, but like to know all of it must have been like someone he knows.
But that's
that
what I'm
to
saying.
know all of his
Is
new
it
numbers.
would have to be someone, which it could easily be a friend. That's fucking
friend. Quote,
right.
quote,
I say friend.
I would not.
But I'm not saying like a legit friend.
Like this has been happening for months. Also, the dedication one must have to call someone at 2 or 3 in the morning over and over and over again for months.
I wonder if it could be
is insane.
Ex. How old were they?
They didn't say.
Or someone that really didn't like him that did happen. Maybe someone they had a falling out with, you know? Outside of the paranormal. Like, if we're going outside of the paranormal aspect of it.
Well, that's like dedication.
That
right
is
there.
Insane. If it is an actual person that's doing this, if it's not straight up paranormal craziness, that's insane.
Yeah, as the one of the cards you read from our episode is like, you need professional help.
Professional help, dude.
Like, you need professional help.
You need professional
I have
help.
nothing else. I have nothing else to say to that.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
So I do have one more longish one, kind of like the first one I read, and I don't know what you're thinking.
I've got more. Got another one.
Okay. Cool. Y'all be getting a root canal soon. A root canal.
A root canal.
A root canal on this one, and it's like itching because it's like needs a root canal. You know, it's because I had a filling in there, and part of it chipped off, which I didn't know because it's such a small piece, and therefore it still let stuff in there and then caused a cavity underneath my whatever. And so here we are.
Oh no.
So if you just see me sticking my finger in my mouth, it's because it like itches. Does that ever happen to your teeth?
I can't say my teeth have ever gotten itchy, or my gums.
It's not a good sign, probably.
No,
but,
I can't imagine it is. I can't imagine it is.
Generally, they say my teeth are pretty good. So that's what I like to hear. Overall,
All right, this one.
You want to hear a scary story?
What's your scary
Just
story?
Look at my mouth.
Oh yeah, that's your scary story.
Yeah, that's my scary story. Right? It's a shit show.
All right. Here's my next and probably final story. All right. Growing up, after my parents split up, my mother had me move with her half the time to a house that she shared with her other divorced friend and her daughter, who was a few years older than me. I was around 11 and her daughter was about 14. Life was full of turmoil at the time for me as the youngest child, only girl, poverty-stricken, and my mother an alcoholic. This house gave me the creeps from day one of moving in. The thing that always seemed so strange to me was that the house was facing opposite of the road. The only one like that on the entire street. Long dirt driveway that led up to the house, which our main entrance was from the back porch into the kitchen. This was a 3-story home, including the basement, which was completely unfurnished except for the washer and dryer, that of course was hooked up in the way back corner of the entire room. On the first floor was the master bedroom, the only bathroom, a computer room, the door to the basement, and the kitchen living room area. Upstairs were 2 bedrooms, one my mother and I shared, and the other one was the daughter stayed in. The master bedroom downstairs was for my mother's friend. Now, I was young and alone, always had superstition, so I looked harder into any little thing I thought was a ghost. One thing that triggered me right away was the basement door. It was latched to the wall, but loosely. It was constantly being blown open by a draft, as the adults of the house would say. The explanation never sat right with me. I believed in my heart there was a spirit there. Letting its presence be known through the door, it would happen at the most random times and almost purposely when it was just me by myself downstairs nearby. This alone had me become very imaginative about what was going on. I would create stories in my mind of what could be. I knew I was taking these slight paranormal experiences and running with them in my mind, but there were few things that truly made me feel it was all so real. I was going to school and telling my friends ghost stories about the house as a way to garner attention and almost cope with the situation. I was pretty much lying about 98% of everything I said, but the truth is this. The basement door was opening on its own. The daughter of my mother's friend didn't believe what I had to say at first until one day after high school. She got home before anyone else. She went to shower, and after finishing in the shower while home alone, the locked doorknob to the bathroom shook rapidly as if someone tried to force their way in. This bathroom door was on the opposite side of the basement door in the same hallway. She believed me from that moment on. Her friend came over once that claimed to be a psychic medium, and he said that he saw a tall, dark figure walk out of the hallway into the kitchen as well. Besides all of that is the night you could say I got what I asked for. Clear, cold, hard proof that I was living in a haunted house. I've told this story to anyone that ever cared to listen, and I've been met with so many different reactions. People have flat out said that they don't believe me because of how crazy it sounds. So here's what happened. I was in the computer room downstairs. It was around 9 p.m., and I was using the house phone to talk to my friend from school about whatever we were doing on the computer together. The adults weren't home, just me downstairs, and upstairs with was my mother's friend's daughter, taking a weed nap. No joke, she was a stoner. Same. The door to the computer room was open and had a clear view down the hall to the basement door, which was a bit too close for comfort. As I'm on the phone, the basement door creaks open. I immediately got scared and decided to go upstairs as quick as possible. My friend on the phone knew about the situation, but being the bold kids we were, she encouraged me to go back downstairs after a few minutes of being upstairs bored without the computer. Feel that. I agreed to be ballsy and head back downstairs, except my approach is what I believe what warranted what happened next. I hung up the phone with my friend and started to go back downstairs, confronting the spirit that I felt was harassing me and personally targeting me at the time. What Do You Want From Me by Adam Lambert was big on the radio, so I sang the line, "What do you want from me?" going down the stairs. I take it even further and start acting confrontational towards the spirit, saying, "Fuck you, ghost, you can't do shit to me," and sticking my middle finger up at the basement door. I know, super cringe and embarrassing to even remember. While I'm doing this, I walked around to the kitchen, my back is to the front back door, so the front door. Keeping in mind that it's like 9 p.m. at night. The doorbell rings at this exact moment. I'm expecting it to be either my mother or her friend getting home after the long day. Super embarrassed that I just got caught talking to nothing, I turned around and pulled the sheer curtain to the side to see who's standing at the door. Nobody. This doorbell speaker system is hooked up in the hallway of the basement door. Unfortunately for me, this isn't just the regular ding-dong traditional doorbell. For some odd reason, we had the super extra doorbell system that played a different song every time you rang it. For example, Jingle Bells, or something else short and sweet. So by the time the doorbell chime completes and I see there's nobody at the door, I have fully processed what's going on. And yet it gets worse. After the first bell chime finishes, I swear to everything in my life and all that I cherish, a voice comes out of the speaker system. A feminine voice. One that is speaking gibberish to my ears. And then the doorbell rings again. I ran up the stairs so damn fast. I'm screaming the daughter's name to wake her up and bang on her door so she can wake up and come unlock it to let me in. By the time she does, I come inside and she's like, "What's going on?" I told her to be quiet and she got to hear the final doorbell chime. I explained to her what's happening and she just sat there in shock. A few other incidents occurred during my time there, but nothing as clear and as terrifying as that night. A few months later, my mother and her friend had a huge fight and we moved out. I believe that the spirit in her house targeted me and fed off the negativity in my life. I've spoken to a few psychics since becoming an adult, and one psychic in particular brought up this spirit and says she follows me. Says she followed me.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Right?
That.
I believe it may be true. I have a reoccurring dream of a girl locked in a basement. My spirit begging me to save her, not to leave her. I could never forget my experiences in that house, and especially not that night.
Aww. That makes me feel sad for the poor spirit, because that seems
I know, right?
She was just asking for help.
For real.
In a way that scares us.
Yeah, it's scary to us, but at the end of the day, they're usually just asking for help in some way that just doesn't translate well to us,
Especially with things that are considered the unexplainable, it really freaks our baby brains out.
Yeah.
Our stupid human brains.
Our stupid human baby brains.
It's true. Un momento, I have to get the last one.
The last one.
Ta-da! Okay. I also have one more to go.
One more.
And this is from 3 months ago from First Goat 7556.
7556.
First Goat 7556 says, "On Friday, I drove to Reno to visit a good friend. I do this every summer. For some reason, though, I had a lot of anxiety this time around prior to leaving. I brushed it off as travel jitters. However, I kept having this feeling of dread that someone close to me was going to die.
Oh.
I figured I was just trying to make meaning out of my anxiety, as the brain loves to do, but I kept feeling compelled to check in with my sister and my kids to make sure everyone was okay. I made it to my friend's place safely, though we had a great time. I made it to my friend's place safely, though, and we had a great time."
Okay, there we go. I was like, what?
You're like,
what?
huh? Ooh, so sorry, First Goat 7556.
Here, look, I can wrap you up in the blanket.
My sister and my kids were fine the whole weekend as well, so naturally I assumed it was just some weird bout of random doom and gloom. Last night was my last night there. I barely slept. I started having a severe panic attack around 10 p.m. that lasted until about 2 a.m. That's a long night, honey.
It's a very
so
long
sorry.
night.
When I say severe, I mean like my insides felt like someone put icy hot on them.
Ooh.
It was so strange. Strange is a word you could use.
That's definitely a way to describe that kind of feeling.
Is the other. Yep. From about 2 a.m. to 9 a.m., I tossed and turned, having constant nightmares that I don't remember. When I woke up this morning, I still felt this nearly crippling anxiety. I almost made the decision to stay an extra day because it was so bad. I almost threw up 3 times. Now, I do have anxiety as a general rule, but this was something different somehow. I can't explain it, but it just wasn't the same. There was something unique about this anxious feeling that I was having. Again, it's your instincts.
Listen to your gut.
Ooh, ooh, baby.
Ooh.
My friend thought maybe I was just reacting to the altitude change coupled with my anemia. I figured she might be right and decided to hit up an oxygen bar thinking I needed some pure oxygen in my blood.
An oxygen bar?
I don't know either, but you can also just like go to your friendly neighborhood Walmart and just get a can of oxygen.
Walmart, CVS, wherever, whatever you got, they got a little can of...
An oxygen bar! That's interesting. But either way, they said that helped quite a bit, so they hit the road. The drive is about 7 hours. About an hour and a half into it, I come up on traffic. Everyone is stopped. Apparently, there's been a fatal car crash on that route. Okay. I could see the car flipped over in the ditch, and it seemed really tragic. I turn around and backtrack to find an alternate route, which adds 3 hours to my travel time. I'm not happy, but it's not like I had a choice. I was hoping not to have to drive at night because I hate it.
Same.
As the sun starts to set, same. I start getting this overwhelming feeling that I'm not safe. Strangely enough, it wasn't anxiety this time, just a deep, gnawing feeling that I needed to be extra hyper-vigilant while driving.
Listen to that feeling.
By the time the sun completely set, I realized the feeling I'm having is materializing into more of a vision. I kept seeing a car's headlights coming at me head-on. I'm driving on a 2-lane interstate road, so it's 2 lanes of traffic going opposite directions. It did not take me long to figure out that the headlights I keep seeing coming at me in my mind are the lights of a car that is attempting to move in front of a slower car by switching lanes into my lane, coming at me head-on. So I start driving more carefully, watching every single car that is coming my direction, frequently checking how much shoulder I have to my right in case I need to swerve to avoid a head-on collision. Then it happens. A semi-truck is driving towards me in the opposite lane. Just as I'm passing this truck, a car appears in front of me out of nowhere from behind the semi. The car was probably following very closely behind the truck, which is why I couldn't see him in the first place. The car switches into my lane in an attempt to get around the truck, clearly not checking to see if anyone was in the oncoming lane before doing so. Suddenly, I see his headlights maybe 10 or 20 feet in front of me, exactly like I saw in my head. I'm going 85 miles per hour, and this car had to be going at least that speed in order to pass the truck, which means if we collide, we're hitting each other at 170 miles per hour. Nobody survives a head-on collision at that speed.
Thank you for doing the math for me. And also, why the fuck are you going 85 miles an hour?
Why are you going 85? I know that if you live in, like, the West, it's more typical for their, like, speed limit to be 75.
Yeah, but that's the highest it usually goes.
But if you are freaked about maybe getting in a car crash,
why are you going 85? Maybe you should go a little slower.
Down, honey.
I know you're definitely going over the speed limit.
First go 7556. What the fuck? But yes, thank you for the math, because we weren't about to do it. But even at 85 miles an hour and making poor choices, I was ready for it. As soon as I saw his headlights, I recognized the scene from my head. I swerved to the right and skidded into the desert. I could feel my car. See, it is the west, probably. Yep. So they
she's probably just, okay. She's probably along
you see everything.
Flat, boring stretch of road.
I'm telling you, because my papa and my grandmother live out there, and so we visited them, and it really is just like nothing and just a road for miles. So it was probably that. But still, if you're worried. But he skidded out into the desert. I could feel my car fishtailing badly. Instinctively, I moved my steering wheel with it and regained control of my car pretty quickly until it came to a complete stop. I just sat there a minute shaking uncontrollably. Then I started crying hysterically. Fair. I called my sister to help ground me again so I could get back on the road and get home. The whole drive home, I kept feeling like I was having an out-of-body experience, the realization that this entire weekend I was feeling a premonition coming on of my own death. I think my body was trying to warn me not to go on Friday. I went anyway. It was trying to warn me to stay an extra day this morning, but I left on time anyway.
Listen to your gut.
Then there was the fatal car accident I ran into, and finally the straight-up vision of the headlights. Everything was trying to warn me. I'm just so grateful that I'm able to be sitting here in my bed writing this post, listening to my dog snoring softly and my son in the other room on doing things with his friend, on Discord with his friends. Something protected me tonight. Something wanted me here. I can't thank it enough. I feel this profound appreciation for all the little mundane little things around me right now because I get to be here experiencing them.
You ignored every sign they fucking threw at you.
Because something saved my life.
Every single fucking sign was ignored. Oh my goodness. That's so funny.
But it does end with, I will never, ever not trust my intuition.
For real.
So at least you learn something from this experience. And that is my third and final story for you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Good stuff.
And that is our creepy...
That was our special little episode. Halloween episode.
Hallows Eve episode, yes.
Yes, that was our little Halloween special episode with some spooky stories.
Woo!
Yeah, it was fun.
So,
it was fun.
Keep spookying it up. And listen to that cut. Come on.
Please listen to it. It knows what it's talking about.
I've ignored it. It's never been fun. All right, do it.
Never turns out good when you ignore it.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's where we're gonna end it. If you want to contact us at all, any questions, comments, concerns, topic ideas, things you want us to talk about, whatever, you can hit us up at our email, which is chaosandcatspodcast@gmail.com. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at chaosandcatspod. And YouTube is at Chaos and Cats Podcast, and that is all linked down in the description below, along with our personal Instagrams if you want to follow at all. That is it. Have a lovely rest of your day, night, whatever. Goodbye.
Bye. See you later.